Alright, we are going to do some galactic activations today, calculating some of the synchronic codes that are being beamed from the galactic source, as well as other solar and star entities such as Sirius and Arcturus. And we are going to help channel these codes and whatever they are going to bring us for your unique experience, which is completely your own. So whatever the codes do and however they affect you will be your own experience. Alright, anyways. So the date today on the 13 moon calendar is Spectral Moon Alpha 5. So Alpha is a throat chakra day, 5th day of the week. And we are at the 11th moon. And the galactic signature today is Cana 148, yellow overtone star. Right there. So you can see it's the star tone, then the 5th. Just a bar. Anyways, so we are going to be calculating the telepathic frequencies today, among things. So here's a little bit of a template we have set up. And we are going to calculate the numbers based on the 441 matrix. It's synchronotron. So here we have the set of matrices. So briefly, now this is aimed at people who are already familiar with the law of time and 13 moon calendar, mostly. There's a lot of background to it, so if you are new to it, there is probably a certain amount of understanding that you will lack until you study certain things or familiarize yourself with the 13 moon calendar. However, you can still benefit from it no matter what level you are at, and to connect to the numbers and meditate requires nothing in particular special. Okay? So we're going to start with the time TFI, and that stands for Telepathic Frequency Index. So basically, we're going to find a set of 3 coordinates. There's the time coordinate, the space coordinate, and the synchronic coordinate. And then, based on where those coordinates are, we're going to add up a set of 3 different numbers. So we get one number per set of 3, and there's 3 sets. And then we add all those together and get a master coordinating frequency. And then we also add them to other days. So let us begin. So our date today, I don't know why I wrote Alpha 12 there. See, there we go. Just change that to a 5, same day of the week. Because that's how we're going to do it today. I'm not going to waste this piece of paper just because of that. Okay, so the time telepathic frequency is based on Spectral Moon Alpha 5. And if you look on this here, you will find, so we're at the 11th moon. So the 11th moon, week 1 is there. And week 2 goes across. Alright, so Alpha 5 would be the 5th day on that row. So that is this coordinate here. And so basically, you find the coordinate first, and then this is the 441 matrix base matrix. So essentially think of this as a type of telephone switchboard that different informations and energies can be accessed via connecting and opening these numbers. Now the coordinates on here, rows and columns, etc., will correspond exactly to the same coordinate on these other three. So this one is the time matrix, this is the synchronic matrix, and this is the space matrix. So our BMU here is a 273 on the base matrix unit, and that is the beginning of the fifth circuit. And it is a special day today, and that is why I choose to calculate these codes today in this fashion, which is something that is normally not done on the internet. Anyways, so we are going to place the BMU over here on the right side, so 273, and then we're always going to find out which note it is as well, so that would be a do. That comes in later. So next we have the space. Well, we're going to finish with the time one first. Okay, so now that we've found our coordinate, 273, we are going to find that same number on all three of these, that same coordinate, which is vertical 17, horizontal 17. So on the time matrix, that is a 117, plus on this matrix, the synchronic, it is a 256, and I believe it is a 235 here on the space matrix unit. I honestly can't keep lifting up the book like this. I got dengue fever a few months ago, and it's really affected this hand here, so it's kind of hurting me to lift it. So if you want to zoom in or something, feel free, or take a screenshot, or you can find these online actually, but I'm not going to keep lifting it. Alright, so 235. So add those together, and we're going to get that total of 608. So that is our time telepathic frequency. Next we are going to move to the space matrix and find the coordinate on here. And so for kin 148, we're going to find 148 on here. So that is right over here. Vertical 9, horizontal 17. And that would be BMU 313 on the base matrix unit. Right there. And that note is also a do. Alright, so we are going to add up everything once again that is on the coordinate 313. So on the time matrix, that is a 260. On the space matrix here, it's going to be the kin of today, so 148. And then on the synchronic matrix, that is a 96. So add these numbers up together, and it brings us to 504. Double check everything. Yep, okay. So next we move to the synchronic matrix, and so that is, once again, we find 148 on here. So that is vertical 12, horizontal 8. As we move through the set of galactic activation portal days, 10 in a row, this being the third of them, and that would be BMU 401 on the base matrix unit, and that is also a DO as the note, interestingly. So once again, we're going to find the coordinate. 401 is vertical 12, horizontal 8, and we're going to find that on all the other matrices. So we have 298 on the time matrix, plus a 296 on the space matrix, and we have 148 on the synchronic matrix, which is today's kin. So since the synchronic and the space matrix are based on the same kin, they are always going to be paired together inherently. Alright, so see, that's why we double check. This is a 297 here, not a 296. So we gotta watch out for small errors that can occur in some situations. Alright, so add those up. And that brings us to 743. Everything's looking good. Okay, so now we're going to add all these numbers up with our MCF, master coordinating frequency. Okay, so that brings us to 1855. Sorry, 1857. No, I had it right the first time. 1855. Alright. So now that we have our master coordinating frequency right here, I don't necessarily need this for the current moment. We kind of do still. Because what we are going to do is find the base matrix unit number to activate 1855. And you can pretty much do this with every single number that exists. Just take the number and subtract 441 by it until it is under 441, and you can find out what number activates it. So in this case, it's BMU 1292, and the reason for that is because 1764 is the nearest multiple of 441. So actually, it's a 91. So pretty much 1855 minus 1764 equals 91. Okay, so, and then we find out what note that is, and that is a Mi, and that's based on the octaves. Alright, so after we find what our, I usually don't even put this here, ever, but we are today, because that is our master coordinating frequency. And then we find out what its kin equivalent is. So to find out what kin it is, you take that any number, subtract 260 from it until it is under 260, and in this case that'll bring us to kin 35. So if you want to know the nearest multiple of 260, that's 1820. So 1855 minus 1820 is 35. So kin 35, and that is the blue solar eagle. So solar house of the eagle is how you would technically write it when it's not the kin of the day, but it is the energies of a number. And then we are also going to find out what the BMU of the kin is here. So to find out that BMU, or base matrix unit, it's simply that's coordinate on the synchronic matrix. So kin 35 here is right over there, and that is BMU 351. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the BMU of kin 35. Just noticed for the first time that 35 is in 351. So obvious. Alright, and then its note is, that would be C. Okay, so next, just to round off this portion of it, we are going to calculate the cumulative telepathic frequencies. And that is it's essentially going to be the sum of all of the telepathic frequencies of the week put together. I have these written down on my phone. Let's see if I can draw them from memory. So Dali is day number 1 of the week. And then we have Selly, day 2. Gamma, day 3. Kali, day 4. And Alpha, day 5. Alright, so Dali, the frequency was 1434. Selly, the frequency was 1396. Gamma, the frequency was 1492. If I could just remember what the frequency was yesterday, that'd be great. Alright, so we have 1434, 1396, 1492, 1608, and 1855 to make up our cumulative telepathic frequency today. So that brings us to, and I choose to do this without a calculator for various reasons sometimes. I know it seems like a waste of time, but here we are. Alright, I think it's 7,785. Alright, double check again. 5 by 2. Alright, checks out 7,785. And just as the same process as the master coordinating frequency, we are going to subtract it from 441 until it's under 441 to find out its BMU. And let's see, what is the nearest multiple of 441 from there? I think it's 7,497. Okay, so that brings us to I think it's BMU 288. Let's double check that. See. Yep. Checking out. And that's a do. A higher octave do. Alright, now also to find the kin of 7,785. And so that is kin 245. And that one was kind of easy because I know that the nearest multiple of 260 is 7,800. So just do 15 minus 260 and you get 245, which is the red spectral serpent. So spectral house. Oh yeah, sorry. You wouldn't actually write eagle here, even though it's eagle. It's the seer. Spectral house of the serpent initiate. And that's BMU. Once again, we find out where it is on the synchronic matrix, find that coordinate. So that is right here, vertical 17, horizontal 5, and that is 285 on the base matrix unit. As you can see here. Okay, so 285, and that is a soul. Alright, so we have a set of some numbers here and notes, and there are many more to calculate, but that's all we're going to do for today or for now. Maybe I'll do more. We'll see.